It's the 2K Sports pregame show.
Hello, basketball fans. I'm Ernie Johnson, welcoming you to 2K Sports. I'm here with Kenny the Jet Smith and Shaquille O'Neal. The fans are filling the seats out in Boston, the site of our broadcast, and where the Celtics will be going up against the Chicago Bulls. And guys, for the Bulls, playing under 500 basketball over the last 10 games, they can do better, and they'll try to get on the winning side tonight. And Kenny, we have lots to talk about. One thing coming up on the horizon, the trade deadline. Front offices have had time to evaluate rosters. What are your feelings about blockbuster in-season trades?
Huge deals are rare in the season, Ernie.
Huge deals.
Huge deals. But typically they come in the offseason because teams have time to nurture and bring them together. But there have been some great trades in mid-season. So you can find new life right after the trade deadline, a la Clyde Drexler of the Houston Rockets, to get us our second championship.
Good point. New players would be slow to acclimate. But, Ernie, I think at times you risk disrupting chemistry.
Sometimes worth the risk and sometimes not.
Yeah.
Sometimes I feel like a nut, and sometimes I don't.
Kevin Harlan, take it away.
On the road looking for a win against an Eastern Conference rival. The Chicago Bulls are ready for this thing to get started. Happy holidays, everyone, from all of us at 2K Sports. And do we have a present for you today? Along with Greg Anthony, Steve Smith, and David Aldridge on our sidelines, this is Kevin Harlan, and joining us tonight, one of the most dominant players of our generation, Kevin Garnett.
Thank you for having me, man. It's always a pleasure to see you.
Thrilled to be back in Boston. The Celtics ready for that home court advantage. An excellent season underway. We've seen a lot of good basketball so far from these guys.
And as well as they're playing, you'd have to consider them one of the leading contenders to take home the title. A number of teams in that discussion, no doubt about it, but they are right in the middle of it.
No doubt about that. This is just a loaded team. They are going to be extremely difficult to beat in a 7-game series.
It'll be the Celtics off the tip. Now let's take a look at the Bulls' opening lineup. Markkanen and Lopez are together down low. Dunn and Levine, their backcourt. And it's Holiday in at the 3. Boston on D. They are coming into this having notched a win against the Knicks in their last game.
And when everyone's working together, taking care of their roles, it just makes the game easier.
You know what? We got to see what this offense is capable of. When they get into a rhythm, man, watch out.
Now here is Holiday, following the miss by Kyrie Irving. Here's Dunn, uses the glass to finish the layup. Dunn's got the game going here with the first basket for the Bulls. And KG, when you were bringing those greats together like you had in Boston, the intersection of you and Doc and Paul Pierce and Ray Allen, all these guys together, everything was aligned.
But you got to go through something to be able to appreciate something. And I like to think that with the joining of myself and Ray Allen and Paul Pierce going to Boston, that we all had to have a journey up until that point and go through something and feel something, and have something feel left out. We always achieved when we all came together. Awards, countless all-star achievements. But then when it came to total winning and what we all do this for, we was all vacant. And that's what we all shared. And we all shared the same appetite for that, Kev. And I'm telling you, man, when we all got together, we all knew never to let each other down. And we all gave each other 100%.
What a time. Kevin, when you're talking about influences, you mentioned Chris Webber's name a lot.
Yeah, C-Web was kind of, he and Stacey Augmon was at a time where I was trying to find myself as a player.
Search for a roadmap, maybe, you know, who do I most resemble?
Not only that, but just some direction. You know, at the time I was a big who had handles, and if you know anything about Southern coaches, they don't want their big handling the ball. So you get the ball up to a guard or whatever. It wasn't until I got to Chicago to where the scouts or, you know, people were able to see, like, wow, this big can actually handle the ball. He has handle a little bit. And then my high school coach would actually make me bring the ball up to show off, to showcase.
No kidding.
I hated it. I was like, oh, my God.
But look at what happened,
bring the ball up. And he knew that turning, I could handle it. I was like, oh, my God, I hated this. And he knew I would go and dunk them on. I was like, man, I don't want to shoot. He was like, no, bring the ball up. Anyways.
Good work defensively by Monroe.
He can't find his mojo. Tough quarter for him scoring the basketball.
And Kevin, there was such a whirlwind around your trade to the Celtics from the Timberwolves. What were your thoughts and emotions at that time?
You know what? Being in Minnesota at the time, it was very difficult for me. I didn't necessarily want to leave. I had a goal to bring the city a championship, and I felt like I could do that. Nothing worse than when you have to deal with the reality of change. I'm not the one for change, even though I do know in order to process or progress better, you have to embrace some change. So with the help of my friends from Chauncey Billups, Teron Lou, I sat and I thought through it with those guys who had been through the trade process and talking to me, getting me to understand my options. And once I understood all my options, then I just, you know, it was about what was best for me and my family.
Wow, yeah, there's a lot to consider. Kevin, coming out of high school, you were relatively mature for your age, as 17 turning 18, but do you ever regret not trying college and just seeing what that experience would have been like? I mean, it's such a long time ago, but you've had some chance probably to get some perspective on both sides of that story.
You know what, Kev, I look at it like the unknown is the unknown. Obviously, I've had friends that went to college. Some of my best friends went to college, and I think I've kind of lived it through them a little bit. Listen, when you have responsibility early in life,
which you did.
Which I did.
Yes.
And, you know, so from a mature level, things that interest me are not that interesting as you get older, especially when you have to deal with a vigorous schedule of an NBA schedule. I wasn't able to, you know, be the 17, 18-year-old to chill, have, you know, lean on the parents a little bit, be able to be at home, you know, coming home through the weekends. You know, I had a real life that I was responsible for, and I was growing something. I was building something. You know, I was trying to not just be a young player in our league, but a young businessman wanting to establish something for myself, my friends, my family. You can't do those things thinking like a normal 17, 18-year-old. You're taking pieces from grown men around you all the time. You're around people who need something all the time. At some point, you have to put all this together. You have to make it work for you. You have to put your spin on it for how it works for you and your brand. And you have to be innovative with that. You have to be creative with that. You have to have a vision.
Wow, yeah, there's a lot to consider.
And Brown is a guy who is constantly seeking contact. Defenders have to be more cautious around him.
Boston shooting their first free throws here for the night.
Shooting two.
And he can't get the first one.
And the vertical that Brown has is pretty impressive, as relentless a finisher as you'll find in our league.
And the second free throw, good. Kevin, you were always known as wanting to play and always wanting to practice. You were a gym rat. What did you do when a coach would ask you maybe to take a breather? Let's sit out this game. Let's rest up. Would you welcome that? Would you just say, I'll let you know when I can't go? How would you handle that situation?
You know what? I've always asked the coach to respect the way I get ready for games. I've always asked them to respect the way I approach the game. I've always asked the coach to respect me and my expertise of knowing my body. I'm very, very vocal. Listen, if one person needs rest and it's me, I know how to raise my hand. I know how to say I need some rest. But, you know, I'm a person who likes to push through a lot of things. I'm a person who understands rest, don't get me wrong. But at the same time, I'm a person who understands that practice makes perfect. And if I can work on something for as long as I can to make something better, because I know at the end when I need it, especially when I used to call it dial up. When I call, I need the answer.
Well, you have to like their work on the boards, Kevin, particularly here to start the game.
Kevin, we see some coaches get extremely emotional on the sideline. Others take a more even-keeled approach, more calm on the sideline. Which coaching style would you prefer to play for when you were in your prime? Did you want a coach who was animated, or did you want a coach that was just kind of settled on the sideline?
You know what? I like the coach that was settled on the sideline. You know, I like to think that great coaches are going to be able to coach you in practice, and then during the games, you know, it's about the product and what you put out on the floor. You know, coaches that have understanding, coaches that have vision, coaches that understand the game, understand that it's a game of runs, know that it's a game of momentum, and have plays for those momentums and those times, or coaches that I've always gravitated to and understood that they
like Doc was kind of in between, wasn't he? A little bit of emotion, but he could also have a calm demeanor on that side.
Doc was on fire, I'm sorry. There was nothing calming about Doc.
I'm trying to cover Doc's back here.
No, shout to Doc. Doc will rip your head off if you wasn't supposed to, but you know what? You need to play with that edge. You needed to know that if you wasn't in your spot, 1 through 15, you understood that you were supposed to be there, and it's good to play with that. I think that you don't want to be out there playing like, you know, this is no big deal. Every play is a big deal. And no play, absolutely. Absolutely. And you know what? That severity, and you play with that importance, and, you know, knowing that you're playing for the next guy. So, you know, that's important.
And the Celtics making a change here. Smart's checked in. Chicago also making some changes. Felicio's checked in for Lopez. Paul Zipser comes in for Justin Holiday. And it's Jaren Grant in for Chris Dunn. Here's Levine following the basket by Kyrie Irving. And Kevin, you've recently gotten a chance to do more TV. Your show Area 21 has been tremendous, and the critics love it. Talk about this chapter of your career.
Well, you know, it was something that I wasn't planning on, but, you know, Turner brought me a great concept, and it fit the mold of what any man cave is, and that's really what it is. But the fact that we can go in, watch games on multiple channels, see multiple games, articulate it, you know, give it from a perspective of a player, coming fresh out of this generation of players, giving understanding to this generation of players is very important, because these players now are very different. Teaching these young players, still being mentors of these players, very important. And still loving this game. It's still a beautiful game. Man, the game is growing. I'm watching these kids do all types of different stuff, man. The creativity in our game there is so heightened. So, yeah, I'm having a bunch of fun, which is one thing I never forgot. The piece of advice you've always told me, man. So you continue to enjoy what you do, and it'll show. And I'm hoping that I'm making you proud of that, Kay. I'm enjoying what I'm doing, man.
You're an incredible ambassador to all of those things. The game, the fun of life. Right. You capture a lot of the fun of life.
I'm trying, man. I'm trying. I'm enjoying it, so, you know, hopefully it shows.
Here's Felicio following the basket by Kyrie Irving. Clock is at 3, and that one's good. Zipser.
Excellent play call there. The defense was not prepared for the pick, and as a result, they gave up the wide open look.
Kevin, of all the people you've faced, who is the toughest guy for you to score against? Down low, let's pick that geography. Who is the toughest to score against down there?
Listen, I know a lot of people. I've always said Rasheed Wallace. I've always said Tim Duncan. They're probably the two that brought a different level of play out of me. But shout to Cliff Robinson, man. Cliff Robinson, I don't know if people know this, but Cliff Robinson, man. Cliff Robinson was one of the better defenders in the post. He was very strong. He was very long. He didn't go for any counters. He was very disciplined. He was well prepared. because he was a veteran. The refs let him get away with a lot, touching and grabbing. He knew when to be physical in some positions. He knew to do what we call work early. He would meet you at the three-point line, and he would be fighting you, and you would post up probably like a step outside the three-point line. Like, he was really good at some of his techniques and how he was able to control the post. After Cliff left the game, I watched a lot of his tape, and I took a lot of his I had to, because it was so effective against me that I was able to use it against other post players on the defensive end.
I never knew that story.
Dennis Rodman was another guy I watched a lot. Akeem Olajuwon I watched a lot, because these guys were laterally very similar to my makeup. Akeem Olajuwon was long. He was able to laterally move with you. I was laterally able to move with guards and able to laterally to slide with some of the forwards and some of the more laterally gifted power forwards. And with that, able to get my feet together, being able to block shots, challenge the rim, stuff like that. Things that, if you're going to get better at something, you got to go and reach and find the great ones that did it before you and take it, and then I was able to apply it, and I did those things.
And the first time out of the game called for Chicago. Well, the fans out there watching this, Kev, can you talk about why it's so incredibly difficult to win an NBA title, to become a champion? Why is it such a tough process?
Well, just imagine having a goal and you're not pursuing the goal by yourself. You know, just say you and somebody else.
Relying on somebody else.
Relying on somebody else, okay? So let's just say you and someone are doing something, to walking up a hill. Y'all getting ready to go walk up a hill. Well, the speed at which you want to walk at might be different from the other person. And what you realize about when you're trying to reach any goal is that you have to be connected. You have to be understanding of, we're going to walk up here together like at this speed, like this, or we're going fast, we're going slow. It has to be a great level of communication and understanding. At the same time, you have to have the same work ethic, because you have to understand you're together. And you don't get to go at this level and leave someone behind. You have to actually, you got to pull them, you got to keep up, whatever it is. All this goes into trying to win.
It sure does. That's right.
And that one gives them a +5 rebound advantage, Kevin.
Grant kicks to Felicio. Out of bounds, Boston takes possession. Just a moment to look back at how things were last season for this team as we look at the shot breakdown for Boston.
And the three-pointer was their preferred weapon. It can be a risky strategy, but it's one that more and more teams have embraced over the years.
There's 45 seconds left in the first quarter. Smart with the ball. 14 points from him the last game against New York. The dish to Morris. Here's Tatum. Drops it in from 11 feet. And now it's a 9-point Celtic lead.
Yeah, off to a strong start here early. 6 points off second chance buckets.
And that one, good. Portis has got his first points of the game.
The defense is pretty much helpless once he finds breathing room to get to the basket.
Here's Rozier. He's covered by Grant. Rozier, the pass to Tatum. They set the pick. Here's Morris. And there are the Celtics with another basket.
The polished mid-range game of Morris. Some of his best shots come from about that 12 to 20-foot range.
And we reached the end of the first quarter. Celtics lead by 9. And back with the start of the second quarter in just a moment. We caught up with Kyrie Irving earlier, and he talked a little bit about expectations for himself and his teammates.
We expect so much out of each other every single night, and you know the team is going to go as hard as we go, as well as the other pieces that we have on the team. But we have to control it from a standpoint that we have to play off each other.
Kyrie reminding us that it's not just the expectations of the fans and the media, but also, perhaps the most demanding of all, are the expectations they've got for each other.
Oh yeah. They're constantly trying to manage expectations while still demanding the best from one another. And I got to tell you, it's fun to watch.
Welcome back, everyone. A lopsided first quarter in the books already as we start the second quarter. And the Celtics, guys, what jumps out to you stats-wise?
Hustling on that offensive glass. That's led to a number of second chance points.
a fundamental part of basketball, taking advantage of guys who fail to block out.
On the court right now, second quarter for the Bulls. We've got Valentine. He's out there with Grant. And it's Felicio in at the center position. And keeping us updated from the sideline, let's swing it over to David Aldridge.
Kevin, Celtics coach Brad Stevens is known for getting the best out of his players. He said every NBA player has an elite strength. Some of them have 10 of them. And those guys are the very best in the league, right? But every one of them is here for a reason. And there are times where you can really soar with that skill. Kevin?
And that's why Stevens is already one of the best coaches in the league, David. You've talked about him for a long time, getting maximum results from every one of his players.
Take a break. Take a break. 2 shots.
The first free throw is good. Second free throw, no good. And KG, 2 decades later, you still look the same. You don't age. You do not.
Listen, I wish I could use the Beyonce. I woke up like this, but actually I woke up like this and worked out some more, and then worked out a little more to look like this.
You look terrific.
You look great too, man. What's the secrets, man?
I'm following you, watching your advice.
Yeah, right. You've been doing this way, man. Ken, what year is this for you? Seriously?
Broadcasting the NBA, 20 years, and then 12 years with 2K.
You're a beast, man. You know what I love about 2K, man? They bring the best in for the best. You understand, my dude? Straight up.
That's why we've got you. But Kevin, you play this game a lot, don't you? Especially when you were young.
Man, listen, man. 2K is it, bro. There's no other games out here. This is what it is. If you play basketball, if you online, nobody's playing nothing else. This is it.
Yeah.
2K is the cream of the crop. It's the gang. They know what it is. It's lit. They know what it is. Seriously, they ain't got to do this. They know.
And when you watch Marcus Smart, you can see just how strong he can be on the defensive end. Why do you think, KG, he is such an impactful defender?
Marcus Smart, he rarely gambles. If you watch him play defense, he's very solid. He takes up space. You know, when these point guards now, they want to be able to have space to be able to create. He gives you one direction. You know what?
He anticipates well.
He anticipates well. More importantly, he's very smart. He understands the whistle. He understands hard fouls. He knows when to foul hard, when not to. And on the offensive end, too, he'll hit a 3. He's a gutsy player. You know, on the defensive end, he'll take charges. He'll do little tangible stuff that a lot of guys won't do. Man, you need a smart on your team to do the small things if you're trying to really win.
And the smart things, right? Yeah.
The smart things. Yeah. Only you, K-Hard.
No, come on. I just got that from you. What are you talking about? You said it. I just repeated it right
Classic
there.
2K. Classic 2K K-Hard right there. You lit, K. You lit.
Because I'm next to you.
Lit. I'm telling you lit.
Come on.
Hey.
Brown, he's checked in for Boston. Then for the Bulls, Robin Lopez is checked in for Felicio. And Justin Holiday subbed in for Paul Zipser. And Grant drops them both.
And this is what we've come to expect from him. This type of consistency from the line.
Kevin, it's been said that some guys hated to play against you. Is there someone you hated to play against for whatever reason?
No.
You enjoyed every jump?
I enjoyed every competitor because on the offensive side of the ball, I was always challenged when to use counters or what type of moves I was using. I took a lot of pride in having a variety of moves for different types of defenses. And each guy is going to bring out a different side of the offense in you. And then turning around and then being that defender and being able to guard the post player or the post or whatever the post player was or whatever. Rasheed Wallace was always a tough guard. Tim Duncan was always a tough guard. Zach Randolph was always a tough guard. Chris Webber, Dice, Karl Malone.
Great names. So the whistle blows on the shot and 2 free throws for the contact right there. Kevin, growing up watching the game of basketball, who were some of your earliest influences?
My early influences in the game of basketball was Magic Johnson, obviously Michael Jordan, and then Chris Webber. Chris Webber, Malik Sealy was kind of like the younger generation of my inspiration. Yeah. St. John's was one of the destinations. Michigan was one of my college destinations. So those guys were my natural inspirations early on when I was young.
Yeah. And he makes the first. Kevin, we know how hard the players work, the elite players work the hardest. We know the coaches works so hard. Everyone in that coaching staff, everyone wants the game called right. Is an added referee something that would help the game in any way, do you think?
More eyes on it.
We got 3 right now.
Listen, that's a lot,
That
man.
is a lot.
And we're yelling at those 3. Listen, more eyes on the prize, if you will, so be it. It's just about how the game is. You want referees to be consistent. You want referees to also let the guys play a little bit. You know, that's just my preference. I'm not a league official, nor do I know flow and momentum. I'm just talking from a fan perspective and watching it.
Yes.
But, you know, as a player, you find things to complain about because that's what a player does when it comes to advantage versus disadvantage. But fourth ref, I don't think it would hurt. To me, it would be about how they were calling it.
And so it looks like the Bulls will retain possession here. Let's go to the 2K leaderboard. Here are the team leaders in steals. You need to play heads up against these squads. Third spot, the Celtics.
You can't get careless with the basketball against this group. I mean, they'll pick your pocket, and no surprise to see them in the upper echelon as far as steals.
Kevin, some of the relatively new rules protecting players, the breakaway, the flagrant 1, the flagrant 2. Are you in favor of all this stuff?
I'm in favor for players' health. You know, anything that is going to be detrimental to a player's health, I feel like, you know, the player's health is the first and only obligation. That's all I've ever worried about. You know, foul play, you know, I think every player should always understand it's a way to foul. It's a way to be able to, you know, send a message. But in the heat of the moment, I get it. You know, things happen. But just I hope that all players out there will continue to, you know, to care about and respect the game.
Dunn kicks to Portis. There's the feed to Dunn. Kevin, with intentional fouling, with poor free throw shooters being sent to the line currently, the Hacka Drummond, Hacka Shaq, I mean, all this stuff, Hacka DeAndre Jordan. Yeah. What are your thoughts on all that?
You know what? I like it. You know what it's going to do? It's
part of the strategy?
It's going to put the strategy, and this is part of it. And you know what you got to do? It's going to make all those guys you just named work on their free throw. Because if any advantage that you have in the game, coaches are going to expose it. Coaches are going to expose all weak points, as they should, as any sport, and as any great is going to expose any weaknesses in defenses. He's going to look to expose those things. So this is one of the things that dictates the game, and these guys are going to have to be better. It's going to push them. It's going to make them better players.
Here's Lopez. Baines with the block. And pushing it up. Here's Boston. Here's Morris. Their offense stone cold. Another miss there.
You can see the frustration. They hold the lead, but he wants to be able to contribute.
And if that doesn't get them fired up, guys, nothing will.
Greg, just what the doctor ordered, huh? Some high-flying annex to narrow the deficit.
Not only does that dunk help in cutting into this lead, but it gives this team a real confidence boost, too.
They set the screen. Shoots off the screen. Misses off the right iron. Bulls trail by 5. Jaylen Brown is out of UC Berkeley. He has sought out the mentorship of greats like Isaiah Thomas, the original Isaiah Thomas, the first Isaiah Thomas. How key is that for young players, you think, Kevin, to tap into your knowledge? Talk to an Isaiah Thomas or a Shaq.
It's important, man. The OGs have the knowledge. You know, we like to call the YGs, this younger generation. And what you get from an OG is that he's going to give you stuff that intangibles, things parents, relatives, family can give you, things that go in the locker rooms, things that, you know, that helps you prepare. When you get knowledge like this, you have to apply it. You have to use it to the best of your ability. More importantly, you have to see how it fits you. You know, you'll get some advice from a great, and at some point you have to see how it relates to you and your life. And then, and we like to say not only the way you give back, but the way you pay an OG back is that when you become an OG and you see a YG, you give them those same jewels that some OG gave you at one point.
And really the defense fouling there to prevent the layup, but that's exactly what you need to do.
Kevin, especially back in Minnesota, you have some Hall of Fame battles with a guy named Tim Duncan. Talk about what those games, what those matchups were like.
Timmy, man. Timmy's very crafty, man. Our battles used to just, especially as young guys, man. Young guys trying to establish themselves in a gritty league at the time, full of some older, dominant names at the time. Michael Jordan, Elijah Malone. You know, the time where the forward position was a very, very tough position. But Timmy was one of them ones, man. Used angles very well, was very long. had a lot of counters, very strong, and had an inner beast that people really didn't really talk about because you didn't really necessarily hear or see it. But man, I think he was one of the best, man. It's not by coincidence. He's one of the ones.
Both free throws good from Holiday. Al Horford, a player who doesn't dominate any one category as a big man, but KG has very few weaknesses. He's fundamentally sound.
He's very effective, man. Al Horford knows what he is. He's very solid with what he does. Sets great picks. He's able to create space between him and his defender. If you watch him, he's gotten better with his shot. He's gotten better with his three-point shot. He's able to shoot it at rapid style now. Being in Atlanta, being in a kind of a system where he was able to play kind of 4 guys, 1 in, and he would be more perimeter. He's really developed a perimeter shot now. It's really helped him. Now he's able to put the ball on the floor with a shot fade and go to the basket, make, other passes to guys. Really helped that whole system up there. Boston is a threat, but without Al Horford's play, his inside play, and his, able to go out and hit threes, they're not the same team without him.
Quality person, too.
Absolutely,
yes.
Man. No better locker room leader. He's one of these guys that, when you talk about men, you want to know that men can stand up and speak like men. He's one of those guys. He's one of those guys that's going to put on the table, and we are going to be in here speaking as men as it should be.
After having no trips to the free throw line in the first period, he's being much more aggressive now.
Kevin, when you played, we all know how intense you were, how much you cared. That, to me, was the thing that you cared so much about the product, about your team, about the game. But some people have said that maybe there was a streak of you that was mean is maybe not the right word, but you were overly aggressive. But I don't know how you could have played any differently than that.
I call it dialed in.
What?
I like to think that if you're trying to accomplish something, then, I only know one way to accomplish something. You go at it with everything you have.
Yes.
You go to dominate it and take it over. You don't go at something lightly.
Can't walk through the park with this game,
not at all. Not at all. And this game is full of talented elites. Night in, night out, you're playing someone that can typically go for 50 easy.
So true.
And I'll tell you, he's got nothing here in the second quarter after just 1 made shot in the first. And on some plays, everything goes your way except for the finish.
Here's Brown. Good, and the assist goes to Irving. Irving's got his 5th assist in this one. Kevin, you accomplished everything individually as a teammate. Anything that you wish you would have done, any player that you wish you would have played with, any regret in that form that lingers with you in retirement?
No, nothing lingers. Obviously, you sit back and think about, I would love to play with Cole for a year, or got to team at least play in the U.S.
You had a chance to. Wasn't there like a rumor at one time?
It was. My connection with Paul was just the opportunity when I waited. It's what it was, but Cole,
and you wouldn't have traded the Paul Pierce thing for anything.
No, I wouldn't have, because Paul and I are true brothers. The connection, and then the team, Ray, my connection with Doe and then Doc and all that. So I wouldn't have given that up for anything. But if I could have played with one person, it probably would have been Cole. Summertime, I say USA because that's when you get to play with each other and all that, and you get to kind of beat up on everybody else and be USA or whatever. So that would have been super fun, but it's all good. Shout to Mama, you know what it is. But I have no regrets, man. I left everything on the floor. I enjoy watching the game more than ever now, dog. I'm not even going to front. I enjoy having my popcorn, my little ritual with my boys, and we sit back and we watch the game and loving the game.
Yeah. And it's tied up with that one. Kevin, when you entered the draft, no player had made the jump from high school to the NBA in 20 years. And what were your emotions when your name was called number 5 overall?
Oh, man, I remember that. It was
17 years old.
17, just turning 18 at the time. I was in like a whirlwind, to be honest. A lot of people don't know it's a lot of stuff that goes up into the draft. Things that I wasn't aware of. You're training twice a day. You're trying to get ready for the combine. You're trying to get ready for pre-draft. You got to do workouts. This is all new to me. On top of still going to high school, trying to, graduate and stuff. So I figured it out. I hustled and I bustled and I juggled a bunch of different things. But once your name is called, it's almost like the culmination. It all comes together. It's a special moment for just you and your family and your loved ones and ones around you. And when my name was called, it felt like the world had stopped and everything was going very slow.
Regular season grind, 82 games in the regular season. In your opinion, is that the right amount of games for teams to play? Or would you like to see the schedule shortened where there's more practice in between, more days of rest, more days to recuperate?
Man, look.
You get a big smile on your face.
For the old school, Kev, you know, 82 games is how you got to come through it. This is, listen.
It's a war, isn't it?
It is. And you know what? This is the tradition of it, man. This is what it is, bro. If you don't want to go through this and go through this hall and this road of this journey, then cool. Go to another league. They got shorter games. They got other awards that you can, you know. This is the NBA. This is what it is. This is the grind of it. And ones that have come before you have done it, just like the ones that's after you is going to do it. This is what it is, bro.
Yeah, still moving a little bit when he set that screen. He'll argue that he was set, but I really didn't think so.
That's the modern-day NBA. Complain about the call and hope the next one goes your way.
Catching up on the changes for Chicago. Felicio's checked in for Lopez. Paul Zipser comes in for Justin Holiday. And it's Grant in for Dunn.
And they've repeatedly probed inside in the first half, guys, and it's paid off.
Screen by Monroe. Here's Hayward. Good, and the assist goes to Irving. And it's 8 points for Gordon Hayward.
Hey, numbers don't lie. Catch and shoot equals high percentage. Gordon Hayward with a great look.
Grant kicks to Felicio. And there's the foul. It'll go on Jaren Grant. That's his first foul. Irving against Grant. They set the pick. Horford with the screen on Grant. Here's Irving. Loses the defender with the screen and drills the jumper. And now a 3-point Celtic lead. Grant kicks to Markkanen. Irving against Grant. A rebound by the Celtics. Monroe's got his 7th rebound here tonight. The Celtics shooting their 6th and 7th free throw attempts tonight.
And they've had really good numbers all season from the free throw line.
Two shots.
That free throw missing.
And they're really getting more points at the free throw line here in the second quarter.
Good on the second free throw. 1:22 left to play here in the second quarter. Grant dishes to Markkanen. For 3, Levine drains the three-pointer. Levine's got 6 in the quarter.
Gradually starting to put pressure on this defense. That's his 2nd from downtown this quarter. 3 for the game.
And KG, I have to say, a pleasure to have you with us here tonight, providing your great insight and intellect into these broadcasts. Thanks so much for being with us on the show, and I hope you come by again.
Man, K-Hall, anytime you need me, man, you let me know, man. I'm yours, man. You know what it is.
The great, the champion, Kevin Garnett. Wow, it's such a pleasure to have Kevin Garnett with us. Steve, he looks like he hasn't changed a bit, like he could go out there now and still play.
I totally agree. He's one of those guys that stayed in phenomenal shape, and when he played, I mean, his impact on the game from the 1 position all the way to the 4, he was a handful.
Horford's shot is good.
Yeah, and he can really take his game outside when he wants to. Horford's got plenty of range to go along with all that work he does on the interior.
Shot clock and game clock separated by less than 6 seconds. The offensive rebound. Felicio, the pass to Grant. Levine for 3. Again, Levine missing. And now with the fast break, Smart with the ball. And here is Markkanen. From outside the arc, and it would have counted had it fallen, but it's offline. Tie game in Boston. And now let's catch up with David Aldridge, who's standing by from the sideline. All right, Dave.
Thank you, Kevin. Coach, what made the difference over the course of the first half to get that momentum change in your favor?
Well, we finally buckled down and started getting some stops. We've done a poor job making them feel us. We've got to make it more uncomfortable out there on the floor.
Defensive activity leads to offensive results. Thanks, Coach. Back to you, Kevin.
Thanks for the great interview, David. And we'll be back for the third quarter of basketball following halftime.
And now, the 2K Sports Halftime
It's
Show.
an interesting battle going on tonight. Ernie Johnson here with you folks, alongside Kenny the Jet Smith and Shaquille O'Neal. You are watching the 2K Sports Halftime Show. Taking a look at the Celtics. Kenny, what's your take on Boston so far?
Well, there was a big spark from the bench in the first half. Sometimes you're hoping for your reserves to come in and just hold court, but they didn't do that. They actually got better.
And Shaq, what'd you think about Chicago?
The thing I like is their aggressive approach and getting to the line. You know, when things seem to stagnate on offense, it's sometimes a matter of forcing your will. This team can generate a lot of points and also dictate the pace of the game if they play with that aggressiveness.
And that will conclude our halftime presentation. We take you back to Kevin Harlan for the second half.
Here we go now, the start of the third quarter, welcoming you back in a closely contested first half so far. You look at Kyrie Irving in this game, he has been everywhere.
And let's see what the defense counters with to try and control him here in the second half.
Well, you like to run more doubles at him, but the risk there is opens up things for everybody else.
And now the start of the second half. Neither side jumping out ahead through the first two quarters. That'll be a 5-second call. And we see the game of basketball gaining popularity, Steve, around the globe. Do you see a difference in the number of international players in the league now versus, say, when you came into the league?
You know, Kevin, back then I saw it. It was probably 90-10, 90% of guys from United States and then 10% international. That number right now is starting to grow. It is getting closer and closer to 50-50. And the reason why, scouts now with the technology, you can find a guy all over this globe, and guys are coming over here taking the game serious. I think it's going to come down to wherever you're from. If you're fundamentally sound, you have a chance to make it in the NBA.
And you know, Steve, a credit to current NBA and college coaches for making these summertime pilgrimages overseas to teach the kids in Yugoslavia and Serbia and all over the globe about the game of basketball. I think that has also sped up the development, and that's, again, a reflection of the international player coming to the NBA.
You're totally right. The global games and guys got to get a chance to see. I think it really started with the Dream Team, the original Dream Team. Everybody international are loving this game, and I think the players who listen and go out and work on their game, they have a better chance.
Brown and Hayward out on the perimeter. Horford is out there with Monroe, and it's Irving at the 5. That's the Boston 5. Markkanen kicks to Lopez. And some nice ball movement here by Chicago. Levine can't hit. The Celtics have gone 1 of 3 since starting the second half. Irving dishes to Monroe. Right wing. Here's Brown. 5 points in the game. It doesn't go for him.
Just 1 for 4 since the break. They are looking for better efficiency on the offensive end.
Pass to Dunn. Now here's Markkanen. He's guarded closely. Shot clock at 6. In the corner, it's Levine. Kept alive. Lopez. And Lopez throws it down.
You love the way Robin Lopez just goes after those missed shots. That's where he can do damage.
Now here's Brown. He's a good contributor to his team, averaging about 10.5 points a game. Monroe outside. And the rebound goes to Lopez.
Terrible beginning to the second half. Just 1 of 5 so far.
And the basket is good. Got it to go through on the contact, so a free throw coming up. A great opportunity for a three-point play. And one of the pieces of the Jimmy Butler trade this offseason, Zach LaVine finds himself as a prime building block for a rebuilding team. The Bulls see him as a star of the future.
And rightfully so, even given the fact that he's recovering from the ACL surgery. LaVine is young and can grow his game with the team. Hard to get fair value for a player of Butler's ability, but LaVine is a great place to start.
Free throw good, LaVine.
I mean, thinking back to where Levine was drafted, 13th overall, raised some eyebrows, but it was all about upside.
Guys are looking for a spark here.
Yeah, a cold stretch offensively, for sure.
The Bulls leading by 5. Here's Dunn. It's stolen by Morris. Oh, and here we go. Irving's got it, the fast break chance, and laid in to finish the break. Irving's got 4 this quarter.
And when Irving is feeling it, he's untouchable. A prime-time scorer who can spot up as well as create for himself.
Lopez against Monroe. Lopez passes to Holiday. There's a good screen. That shot, no good. And the Celtics going the other way now. They beat the Bulls during their last encounter in Chicago.
And the previous meeting was a win for them and a huge day for the bench. The reserves really stepped it up with their scoring.
Getting good production from the reserves on a daily basis is a key ingredient to any team's success.
For 3, Levine cans it from downtown. Levine's got 17 now.
There you go. That's the stroke we saw in the first half.
Screen by Monroe. Here's Irving. It's rebounded by Portis. The Bulls leading by 4. He kicks it to Levine. And count it. He'll head to the line with a chance to make it 3.
They were so much better in the first half defensively, fighting over screens, quick rotations. We're seeing none of that right now.
He made the only free throw attempt he had earlier in the game. Here's what Boston's going with right now. Aaron Baines, he's checked in for Monroe. And it's Rozier in for Irving. And the Bulls making a change also. Valentine's checked in. And certainly while the injury for Zach LaVine and his ACL was devastating, Greg, it's good to see him back on the court, and he seems to be on track to making a full recovery.
And Kevin, still amazing to me to see just how far the medical community has come in terms of treating ACL injuries. LaVine is such an athletic monster. To lose even a little burst would have been huge. Fortunately, though, with modern medicine, it's going to allow this guy to make the most of his potential still.
And the replay is courtesy of Under Armour. Unleash chaos. It was a great sequence from the steal all the way to the finish at the other end. Here's Rozier. He's been patient so far. Nothing yet on the scoreboard. There's a good screen. Lopez with the steal. Portis kicks to Valentine. He feeds it to Dunn. Pass to Levine. Lopez, a screen on Brown. 5 on the clock. And now it's a double-digit lead. And now it's an 11-point Bulls lead.
And not hard to see why they are giving up points on this run. Just too many good looks from in close.
And now the first timeout called here for Boston. We all know just how physically strong NBA players are, Steve, but they have to be mentally tough as well. How about in that category? Who has the best mental toughness, guys you've observed?
I look at a guy that loves the big moment right now. On top of the list has to be a Kyrie Irving, LeBron James, the great ones, Russell Westbrook. I mean, his focus, and James Harden. Those are the guys that stick out for me, that just come in and night out. Al Horford, mental toughness. You love those guys because their mental toughness match their skill set. They usually have great results. Tough night for him shooting the basketball, but this team has been resilient. That's why they hold the lead.
Those defenders just look a little bit gassed. I mean, they're getting pushed around on that low block.
Here's Rozier looking for his first basket still in this one. Kicks it to Tatum. Here's the screen. Will it go? He takes it up and lays it in. Tatum's got 9.
Not letting his team down. He's been very strong. He just needs a little help from his teammates.
Now done. He's got 6. Dishes it to Levine. Some solid defense from Brown. Celtics trail by 11. And here they go. Morris with the bucket.
And they definitely have the edge in those fast break points.
They can't be afraid to keep pushing the basketball in transition, because in a half-court set, they're struggling a little bit.
Here's the screen. Levine for 3. Rebound, Boston. The Wizards on the road to face them after this game. That'll be the latter half of this 2-game homestand.
Not a big threat from out there. You see why the defense backed off a little.
The pass to Dunn. Lopez a screen. Dunn kicks to Portis. Stolen away, and up the court come the Celtics on the break.
And a late reaction by the defense makes that one a no contest.
You know, he got out before people could turn their heads, and he's already gone with no hesitation.
Time called here. The Bulls decide to talk it over, coming into this having notched a win against Cleveland in their last game.
Guys, there's so many great scorers in our league. It makes it tough to get stops, but somehow they were able to do it consistently in that one.
The reason why their rotations were quick, they prevented easy shots, and they kept their opponent out of rhythm.
Smart's checked in for the Celtics. Then for the Bulls. Felicia's checked in for Lopez. Paul Zipser comes in for Levine. And it's Grant in for Chris Dunn. The Bulls leading by 7. Valentine passes to Portis. Whistle on the play. Bucket's good. He'll go to the line.
That was just a perfect possession, getting it in tight for the high percentage shot.
And he's got his first chance at the line here.
Mind the lanes. Mind the lanes. One shot.
Free throw good. Portis. Here's Smart. 6 points for him. Morris with the screen for Smart. Tatum with it. That is good. And the Bulls' lead is cut down to just 8 points with the bucket from Morris.
And how about that floor awareness there from Tatum? It does a good job of scanning the court and getting the ball to the open man.
And here is Valentine. Taking a look at the scoring numbers, right now he averages about 9 points a game. And there's the whistle on the shot. Took the foul, shot misses. He'll be shooting 2. And there's the call, foul on Boston.
You know, so many people were surprised at the Kyrie Irving trade, but throughout the decades, Boston's been unafraid to pull the trigger. I mean, they moved up to number 2 to draft the great Bill Russell, moving back to number 3 to draft McHale, add Parrish, assembling the big 3 for a championship, then dismantling that big 3 for all those unprotected picks. This is an organization that stops at nothing to try and win titles.
That's good from Valentine.
You know, thinking about Kyrie's legacy here in Boston, this is a town that cares only about championships. That's how his contribution is going to be measured. And only time will tell if he can walk in the shoes of the greatest players to ever put on a Celtics uniform.
Both good from the line that time.
We're still waiting for that first miss from the line this half.
Rozier kicks to Morris. Rob. In transition, here come the Bulls. Here's Grant. And the Bulls with another miss.
And that's the look this offense is designed to produce.
Always frustrating when you do everything right, yet just can't complete the play.
into the paint. Got a piece of it. Stolen by Smart. They set the pick. High post try. Here's Baines. Got a hand on it. Portis, the pass to Zipser. Feeds it to Grant. And no good. Trying to use the glass.
And you see why his reputation is so strong defensively. He allows no separation.
And so many defenses are not designed to take away the mid-range jumper, but he's given nothing away.
Morris into the lane. 6 on the shot clock. And the basket is good. Got it to go through on the contact, so a free throw coming up. A great opportunity for a three-point play. Well, last season, there seemed to be a disjoint between the Bulls players and the coaching staff in the front office. Made for a lot of off-the-court distraction, it seemed like, Smitty, and took the wind out of their sails.
You're right. There were a lot of rumors and accusations going around as to why there was a rift. I can tell you this, when things are that sour, it is hard to focus on basketball. Hopefully the Bulls can put that behind them.
Chicago leading by 7. And it's sent back by Horford. Now here's Smart. He's tightly guarded, and it's Baines missing.
He's being aggressive, trying to turn around the team's fortunes, but he's having a hard time executing.
And there's the foul on the shot. He'll go to the line for 2. You know, Smitty, you had a long career. What was it, 14, 15 seasons you played for the Spurs, who've led the way on resting players and certainly extending their careers.
Yeah, it is, Kevin, but it's hard for me because I look at it as from a fan standpoint. When I played and now, you know, you have that kid and his dad coming to the game, and he doesn't get a chance to see that star player. And a lot of times there's 2 or 3 guys that sit out. I understand the rest is needed because it's a long term, but I wish guys could find a way, and coaching staff and organization, maybe have rest days as far as practice, but let the guys play because kids want to see their stars play.
Right, but in the middle of your career, are you thinking, hey, I want to play long term so this rest is good? Or are you saying, forget the rest, I want to play?
I just want to play. I mean, I think one thing is I never thought about long term. I just wanted to play the game that was in front of me, the practice that was in front of me, the preseason game that was in front of me. You just wanted to play.
Both shots good from the stripe.
And the Celtics trade for Kyrie Irving sending shockwaves back in August. Never before had a pair of 25-point-per-game scorers swap teams in the offseason. That's what you call a blockbuster.
Zipser's shot is off. Celtics trail by 9. Now here's Smart. He has 6. Horford kicks to Rozier. Horford with the screen on Grant. Off the screen, and that one goes long.
And no doubt Irving and IT, both elite offensive weapons. But Irving, 6 inches taller, perhaps more defensive upside, and 3 years younger. The Celtics feel he fits their timeline.
And some changes here for the Celtics. Monroe comes in for Aaron Baines, and Irving subbed in for Rozier. Markkanen, he's checked in for Chicago. Boston shooting the ball at 42%. Screen by Monroe. Hayward dishes to Irving. And Kyrie Irving keeps that ball on a string, but coach has asked him to be quicker on the attack, Steve, not over-dribbling to set up his man.
Yeah, this league is moving away from one-on-one scoring and isolation plays. For the great scorers, it's often a temptation to take your time to pick your defender apart. The problem is it allows weak side defenders a chance to get set.
First free throw is good.
Well, you talk about scores in the NBA, Kyrie Irving is right up there. With his ball handling and shot-making ability, he can dazzle you.
Both free throws good from Kyrie Irving.
I'll tell you this, if Kyrie can just stay healthy, the sky's the limit on what he can accomplish in this league.
Passes it to Markkanen. 18 feet out. And off target that time from Zipser. And Kyrie's creativity, hitting jumpers off the dribble, finishing around the rim. What a great handle. It makes him special to watch.
I totally agree. His dribbling ability and finishing around the rim with either left or right, he is so skilled. He makes highlights every time he touches the ball. I call him the bus driver.
Oh, I like that, the bus driver. I like that, Smitty. Good one. Stolen by Smart. And now with the fast break, Smart with the ball. No good from Irving.
He just can't get it cranked up from beyond the arc. No threes in this half after just hitting one in the first.
And a foul called on the shot. Got him on the way up that time, so he'll shoot 2 right here. That one on Smart. And the first one at the line is good. Justin Holiday's checked in for Valentine. So 1 for 2 that time at the stripe. Celtics trail by 6. A shot by Hayward, wide open, and it's Hayward again missing. 6 seconds separating the shot and game clocks. The dish to Markkanen. Outside Holiday. And out of bounds as the Celtics gain possession. Here's Smart. 6 points for him. Hayward a screen on Holiday. Picked by Horford. Hayward outside. With 1 on the clock. Misses there. The third quarter comes to a close. It's the Bulls up by 6. And we're just moments away from the start of the fourth quarter. Stay with us. And meanwhile, Coach Brad Stevens talking to his team.
Hey, bottom line is, good things are going to happen, bad things are happening. How you respond is the biggest key. Let's go.
And Brad Stevens moments ago focusing on what they can do now rather than worrying about what's already happened.
Yeah, and this is all you can do. Put all of your energy into this moment. The past, the future, they don't matter.
We've got a great game on our hands as we welcome you back. The fourth quarter of action getting started. All right, now a chance to set the floor courtesy of Gatorade. Fourth quarter action, all fueled up and ready to go. So for Chicago right now, they've got Markkanen, and it's Grant in at the point.
Off the bounce, stops short and lets it go. Beautiful shot by Gordon Hayward.
Grant against Irving. Markkanen sets the pick for Grant. He dishes it to Markkanen. No good on the 3. Celtics trail by 4. Hayward outside. Now here's Smart, guarded by Holiday. Smart misses.
And that can't happen. Missing the wide open chip shot.
Pass to Felicio. To the inside and stolen by Horford. Fires from 14. Lands soft on the front of the rim and drops. 8 points for Marcus Smart.
You know, even though you rely on him to put up points, Hayward doesn't get tunnel vision. Nice find right there.
Zipser, the pass to Holiday. The feed to Markkanen. Goes up off the pick, and Markkanen throws it down.
And how about the hops there by Markkanen? He knows not many guys can block that shot. Good at getting that deep post position.
Irving from long range. Felicio with the rebound. Felicio's got the glass covered here tonight. 11 boards for him. And it's going to be 2 free throws. Drew contact on the shot.
Yeah, easy call.
Now, gentlemen, 2 shots. Loose shots.
And he knocks down the first one. Chicago making some changes. Robin Lopez is checked in for Felicio. And Zach LaVine subbed in for Paul Zipser. And Grant drops them both. And we're around 2 minutes into the fourth quarter here. Grant against Irving. Another miss by Irving. The Bulls leading by 6. LaVine kicks to Grant. Rebounded by the Celtics. Monroe's got rebound number 12 here already in the game.
Coming down the stretch here, holding the lead. You like him to be more efficient offensively. Some coaches might not like taking the 3 on the fast break, but he had the open look and buried it.
Grant dishes to LaVine. He kicks to Markkanen. Grant against Irving. Pass to Holiday. 6 to shoot. And they wasted no time getting those 3 points back. And the Bulls lead by 6.
Oh, okay, it's on. Trading blows here from distance.
You know what? Both sides are in rhythm. The defense out there having no effect.
Irving for 3. The basket good off the assist from Hayward. Hayward's got his 5th assist in this one. Here's LaVine. Markkanen passes to LaVine. Monroe on the double team. Stolen by Monroe. Irving with the ball. And Holiday picks him up defensively. Screen by Monroe. Here's Irving. Hits the front of the rim and out.
I'll tell you what, despite the miss, he's going to be looking for that same shot again.
Kick out to LaVine. And the Bulls, another 3.
Tough to challenge LaVine out there. Big lift on his shot, and you must close out quicker on him.
Here's Irving. No good on that one. Some solid defense from Grant. Chicago leading by 6. And Holiday kicks to LaVine. In the corner, Irving with it. Gets the 3-pointer to fall. Irving's got a couple of 3-pointers now in the 4th for the Celtics.
He is starting to build up a little confidence. Hit just 1 3 in the entire first half, but he has hit 2 more since then.
Grant dishes to Holiday. Inside. Markkanen in the corner. Lock at 6. Trying to answer back, but that 3 is off the mark. Boston's gone 3 of 5 from beyond the arc since the final quarter's gotten underway. Great positioning on the putback.
Oh, how about the finesse there? Nice little gentle touch on the board.
And you know, when you have that gentle touch, those tip-ins are easy to come by. Back to Grant. Markkanen kicks to LaVine. Lopez left side to the left side wing. Kick out to LaVine. Over Smart. Again, LaVine missing.
This is a problem for him. Inconsistent from the mid-range.
And there's the foul. It'll go on Jaren Grant. That's foul number 2 for him. Jaylen Brown's checked in for Marcus Smart. And the Bulls making a change also. Chris Dunn's checked in for Grant. Now Hayward. Here's Monroe. And the go-ahead bucket, no good.
I appreciate the attack mindset, but with the defense tracking him down, it was probably better to kick that one out. Well, if you wonder why they're in control of this game, just look at his stats from the field. Solid, solid, solid.
Irving kicks to Horford. Over Markkanen. Horford no luck. The Bulls leading by 3. They double him with Horford. Dunn passes to Lopez. And Holiday kicks to Markkanen. Oh, took the contact and tried to throw it down over the top, but instead he'll shoot free throws.
And Markkanen is skilled at drawing fouls once he establishes position. Uses that height to get the defense to commit.
Two shots.
That free throw good from Markkanen.
And Markkanen is a perfect candidate for that stretch 4. Outstanding at pulling the trigger from deep and not afraid to go inside and bang with the other bigs.
And so he hits both.
Well, he's come through for them at the line today, and you love having a big fella who's so capable on his free throw.
Horford kicks to Irving. The shot's good on the assist by Horford. 32 points for Kyrie Irving.
And once Kyrie gets in rhythm, he's flat out unstoppable at scoring the basketball.
Here's Holiday. Good for his 8th field goal. He's attempted a dozen shots.
He's been locked in all night, and he's taking good shots.
Monroe sets a screen for Irving. Horford dishes to Monroe. Lets it go from 14. Chicago grabs the miss. Levine's got his 4th rebound with that last one here tonight. Dunn misses. Celtics trail by 4. Here's Hayward, and the rebound goes to Lopez.
Not sure of the thought process on that one. Really bad shot selection.
Well, you're playing for the team, not just yourself. They needed much better execution that trip down the floor.
Hayward kicks to Irving, and stolen by Dunn. And here they come. Here's Levine. The shot from the low post is good. Levine's got 5 points in the quarter.
Another one for Zach. He has a scorer's mentality. Very dangerous when he gets into rhythm.
And finished off by Horford.
And that's how it's done. I mean, find that hole in the D and then go hard to the rack.
Maybe that hole was a little bigger than it should have been.
It looked like a total breakdown to me there. He exploited that hole perfectly and made them pay.
Lopez, no luck.
I like the aggressive move on the layup attempt, but the defender, he just stayed right with him.
Brown, good.
And that's just tremendous confidence from Brown. Going up with the shot right away and giving the D no time to react.
And Levine, here we go. Dunn passes to Holiday. Launches a 3, and Markkanen gets it to go on the assist by Holiday. Holiday's got 5 assists tonight. Celtics trail by 5. Outside Irving. Brown with a screen on Levine. Irving, good.
And when he gets it going, this is what can happen. They need to think about the double team now.
Chicago calls timeout. And last season, so many battles going on in the Chicago Bulls organization, Steve, and they weren't all on the court. Hoiberg was in a difficult place, but was given a vote of confidence for this season from that front office.
You know, it had to be hard for Hoiberg as he's had a lot of things working against him. The roster hasn't matched how he has envisioned this offense working. Then infighting with players and management has put him in a tough spot.
The Bulls making a switch here. Portis is checked in. All right, let's catch up with our sideline reporter, David Aldridge.
Hey, thanks, Kevin. Fred Hoiberg was talking with his team during the break, and he's pushing them to empty the tank. He said, I know you're tired and it's been a tough game, but we can't hold back. If you're tired, come out. Otherwise, I want you full speed, guys.
Thanks, David. Levine kicks to Portis. 5 on the clock. He feeds it to Dunn, and it's sent back by Irving. Down low, Horford. It's blocked. That'll be Boston as it goes out of bounds. Celtics retain possession. Irving for 3, and the Celtics hit again from deep. Chicago trailing here. Dunn passes to Portis. Kick out to Levine. Here's Holiday, and the rejection by Monroe. Now here is Irving, guarded closer. Pick by Horford. Irving dishes to Horford. Down to 5 on the shot clock. Brown kicks to Monroe. The shot's good. Brown making the play. And now it's a 3-point Celtic lead.
And the skills of Brown, not just a super athlete, but a tremendous floor general as well.
Here's Dunn. Kick out to Levine. And the Bulls with another miss.
I like the aggressiveness. What I don't like is the lack of efficiency.
Stolen by Levine. There's Portis, and he uses both hands to jam it in.
Great look there from Robin Lopez. Rare to see a big man with that kind of playmaking ability.
They've been a little too casual with the ball out there.
Yeah, but you can't force that square peg into the round hole. Oftentimes, you just got to make that first simple pass and get a rhythm from that.
Irving kicks to Hayward. Count it. Good. Hayward's got 7 now in this quarter.
Those are the shots you expect him to make. Gordon Hayward up to the task.
There's the pick. Lopez a screen. Dunn kicks to Levine from past the arc. Hayward grabs the board. Hayward's got 6 rebounds in the game. This is to Irving. Kicks to Horford. Over in the corner, Brown. And he was camped in the lane there, and he gets the 3-second call.
That can happen when the energy gets turned up, the stakes gets raised. Bad miscue.
And 1:01 left to play here in the 4th. It's stolen by Brown. Here's Irving. The shot, no good. Now Chicago takes it the other way. It's tipped, and that's out of bounds. Chicago will retain possession.
Yeah, tremendous hustle just to get a hand on that one.
Reads the play, quick reaction, almost comes up with that steal.
Brown against Levine. And it's done in the corner. On the pass to Portis. 6 to shoot. Lopez kicks to Holiday. And Boston with the rebound.
Looking a little tentative on a very makeable shot. And this one was uncontested.
4 seconds separating the shot and game clocks. around with it, and Levine comes to help. So it's the Celtics now. Shot clock at 5. From deep three-point range, the long-distance three is buried. Irving's got 41.
From the moment he set foot in the NBA, Kyrie has been a lights-out three-point shooter.
Time called here. The Bulls decide to talk it over. They're trailing by 6. Just 4 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Guys, your thoughts?
Well, tough proposition here. They've got to knock down a three, foul, hope for some misses, then make another three. I would not hold out much hope.
So we see Boston get the win here. It was up for grabs right until the final seconds.
Yeah, and for me, Kevin, what stood out is just the overall trust this group has in one another when it matters most. Doing what had to be done and to send these fans home happy.
It's time now to go courtside as we send you over to David Aldridge from the sideline. David, take it away.
Thanks very much, Kyrie. Nice win tonight. What was your thought process coming into the game?
You know, I was just going out there trying to compete on every play, trying to play as much defense as possible. You know, just sticking to our game plan. We had a game plan going in and we executed.
Got it done at both ends of the floor, Kyrie. Thanks very much. Back to you, Kevin.
All right, David, great job. Thanks so much. And that's going to do it tonight, folks, for our broadcast. For Steve Smith, Greg Anthony, and David Aldridge, this is Kevin Harlan thanking you for tuning in. We'll see you next time